think we're live. Mr. Chamberlain, your headset, please. Well, this is why I traveled halfway across the country to see matchups like this and this quality of 14.1. Fedor Gorst versus Oliver Szolnoki. I'm not even going to try. Do you know how to pronounce his last name?
Okay, got it. Check, check, mic check. Check, check. Okay, ready to go.
Here we are.
Okay, here's the opening break. Let's go and get this break down, and we'll get some introductions going. Of course, you want to try to send this cue ball 4 rails and try to freeze it to that back rail if you can, as close as possible.
Seems like this the break's been going a little long on these tables, but you came up nice and short.
Well, they're coming a little short, and the tables have been playing wet. We have had a major rainstorm here in Virginia Beach this morning. So certainly, as the doors keep opening and closing, the air will be affected. Okay, folks, we are live here at the American 14.1. This is the men's division championship. We do have a women's division. We are down to, after this round, we will be down to the final 16 players. The stream here is done through Upstate Owl. Thank you, Chris, for all your hard work.
Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome, Bobby. You're welcome.
Keymaster Billiards in Virginia Beach, Virginia, at Barry Berman's place. Largest pool room in the country. Beautiful tables. The conditions of the tables are great.
Boy, he did that nice.
This is Bobby World Pro Chamberlain. I have a special guest next to me. Tell us who you are there.
Last time I checked, I was Lou Figueroa.
There you go.
From St. Louis, Missouri. That may change as the night goes on.
Glue.
May adopt all kinds of aliases.
It's so glad to see that you took the time to fly in from St. Louis, Missouri.
I love straight pool. I love straight pool. I grew up playing straight pool in San Francisco, in the Bay Area at Cochran's and the Palace. Also the Palisade, also Town and Country Billiards, and other assorted establishments in the Bay Area. Now he's got a great opportunity here to get these balls popped open. I really like his opening sequence where he gently nudged the 8 to the back rail to give him, a lot of guys would have just...
problem is here is you go into the 3 or roll to the 13. He'd like to get to the 4.
I think it goes to the 4.
If he can get there.
Nope, he hit the 3, which...
That was the issue I had seen. But
didn't maximize the potential there.
All the balls went up there. He's looking at the 6 ball right now. Will the 6 go in?
You don't think he'll consider 2 railing off the side pocket shot?
Well, if he shoots the 14 and the side goes 2 rails, if he hits the bottom and gets stuck, he's done. Getting these balls from up table, I don't really know what good this would be. It would be good to try to do the 2 rails now, to where if he gets stuck on the bottom rail, he still would have some type of shot on the 3 ball or 1 ball.
Right.
But
Whitey's liable to go up table, despite your best efforts.
Yeah. Well, if he does go into it, he'd want to make sure that he goes into where the 15 and the 5 are, so he can push go into the 15 and push the 13 to the side and maybe have a shot in that bottom corner pocket. So he's going to send the cue ball 2 rails here toward the 7, 5, and 15.
He
wow,
one
railed it too. Wow. Oh,
that takes a pretty nice hit.
He's not going to like this. It doesn't look like the 13 appears to go by, but with the 4 hanging in the pocket in as straight as he shoots, he's going to make something happen. I do see a 15-4 combination coming into the next shot, unless he can do something with this 13. What do you see, Lou?
The 13-4 scares me a little bit. It almost looks like it would be more natural going off the, is that the 15? I can't tell.
Yes.
It's too dark. That's a more natural angle.
I like shooting the 15 into the 4.
Right.
And then hitting a little draw. Hit the 2. Almost square in the face. That way the 2 can get off to the 11 and have a break ball here too. So you can do multiple things here at one time.
Well, he may use the 13 just to preserve the ball behind the rack.
Yeah. Well, he's looking back. He wants to shoot this 13. I think if the 13 went, he would have pulled the trigger already. What do you think? I think he's going for the 15.
He's debating what to do with the cue ball if he uses the 13.
If he uses the 15, he really should consider making sure he goes into the 2 full. There's side pockets and all types of stuff. He goes up table, he does have a 6 ball. Well, he's not even drawing this. He's just going to roll right toward the 11 and 5 in between them almost.
Nice.
Well, no, it's not so much right now. It's a nice shot, but he's tied up another ball. And to be honest with you, shooting the 1 right now might not be a bad opportunity to go into the back rail and hit the 9 and 15 and get those balls loose. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I know nothing about this guy's straight pool game. The only thing I know is the last match he ran, it was 100, 102 or something and out, and knocked out our top American player, Shane Bamboni. So we know he's quite capable of coming with a shot here.
Exactly. Okay, he's got a chance to break up those 2 balls. 9-13. The 9 and the 15.
He's got to consider, I mean, if he tries to push the 7 in position here, then he could be stuck also. He's really, I'm telling you, you don't want to bump in balls late, but he better consider trying to get a break shot. And what I see, the best ball to create something is somewhere where the 5's already above the spot.
Right.
Let's see what he does. Well, I think he tried
to go into him, create something right there.
Well, there's nothing easy now. The 3 ball has the closest pocket for him, and the 6 and the spot of the rail. Easy to make. The 6 ball, fairly easy to make, but a little longer shot. I'm leaning toward him shooting the 3 ball next. No, actually, I think he would shoot the 6. Reason I'm not shooting the 3 is because it will send the cue ball over to the short side of the 6, unless he goes back and forth. So I think he'll change and go to the 6.
Right.
Now he want to go 2 rails here where the cue ball gets and fall straight to the 3. Oh, he went for the break shot.
That was fraught with peril, as Mr. Matthews might have said.
Well, here's his opportunity here. He can hit this with slow speed, make the 15, and bump the 9 up for a break ball. He can shoot.
Or tie it up with the 5, so I don't know. Not too crazy about that idea.
Well, the other thing, too, he can hit this with a little bottom left and actually come in tight to the corner pocket, 2 rails, and then push the 9 more up in the position away from the 5 toward the table spot a little bit.
I think I prefer that. Looks like he may be going forward. He's going to take another swing at that 2-11.
Looks like he's coming toward the center of the table almost. Why would he be going to the center of the table?
I don't understand, but he's probably got a plan.
3. Well, he's had 2 opportunities here to create a shot for the break shot for the next rack, and he missed on 1 and passed on the other.
I suppose he could go 3 rails off this 3 ball and come up behind the 2 ball.
All these players here that are left in this tournament, I think almost all of them are right over 100 now. And his opponent here, Fedor Gorst, his last match, they let him continue. He ran 202. So that race is the 150 a little longer. I don't see more than 2 misses from either player here. Maybe 3 tops, and this match will be over.
Extended safety battles are unlikely.
The only thing he can do is, if he can't go into the balls here, he's got to get an angle to come up and play the 2 ball in the corner and tap the 11 over. I'm not sure where he's stuck at. We're gonna find out.
Perhaps side pocket. But
Well, the problem he has now, if he draws up or goes into rail and shoots the 2 and try to push the 11, he have no shot on the 5.
right, this is tough.
You don't really think that he's going to use the 5
I think he's going to
ball
use
break
the.
shot
I think so.
and go off to the rail and to the back.
I don't think he has any other choice.
I think what it really hurt him earlier is when he hit that combo and put that 9 stuck to the 15. Well, you know, it's always good to make balls to start a match out and get the jitters out too. He just came off a very emotional match when he played Shane and finished up an hour ago.
Okay, that's a nice angle. I like the angle.
Well, here's the thing that has concerned me here, Lou, is when he shoots his ball. Remember, if you hit it with any force, you got to hit the whole pocket. You can't got to hit a piece of the pocket,
right.
The rail. So by doing that, he's less likely to use as much side spin because he wants to have accuracy. Now he's going to be going into the top ball here. He's got to be careful with it. It looks like the 11 ball is going to be it, and scratching and just dumping the cue ball right off the 11 aside if he hits it with any force.
Do you use a little inside on this, Bobby?
I have to. I absolutely have to. Not extreme, you know. Instead of extreme being 3 tips, I would hit this ball with 2 tips high and 1 tip right. And I actually like hitting this and going into the bottom part of the rack a little bit, maybe toward the 12. Because hitting the top part of the rack, you certainly can get stuck.
You're going against too much weight. Too much
top
mass.
Part of the rack, you can scratch on the side if he hits it with any force. And see if he just hits a medium speed.
That was perfect.
See, he hit the top ball, and my concern was he would scratch. And if he would have hit that ball at about 60% full, I think it would have happened. I mean, 70% full would have happened. He hit about 60%, and the ball ended up missing the side pocket by about 2 inches. Now is, you know, first thing I was looking at, and I think you know, pattern players, you would look at what is the break ball, what is the key ball. Try to establish that as quick as possible. Right now, of course, the 2 looks like it's a little high. It's a shot, but this is the ball I think he has to start shooting from right here. Unless he can shoot the 8, I think the 2 ball's the shot right now. Now he's got some decisions, though. He can fall where he can take this ball and get rid of, say, the 14, or he can, and then roll the cue ball just slightly forward, shoot the 3, and break him out again.
He's taking the ball off the rail. Never a bad thing to do if you have the opportunity.
This is not where he'd want to be at, I promise you. He did not want to do that.
I don't know. It doesn't look too bad to me.
Well, if he had shot this and rolled down and got straight on this ball, then he could have shot and stopped. And then, you know, got straight on the 14, he could have shot and stopped and shot the 3 and break him up. And he has an 8, you know, or a 13 for insurance balls in case he gets stuck. Now, I mean, shooting the 13 ball is and trying to break some balls out isn't really, you know, any good. He's going to have to go into these balls to start breaking them out. If he doesn't do it now, he's going to get to the top of the rack and go after the 11 the ball to try to break him out the very top ball. You know, I'd like him going into the 15 now because he can use a little bottom left draw and then come over and hit between these balls and push him over, and he might get something, you know, maybe get the 4 ball or the 10 ball pushed over a little more for a break shot. Or he can bump the 3 and get another angle. Be a little lower going into the break these balls next. Well, he tried for what I had said, trying to go to the top ball to break these balls out. But the problem is that he absolutely had to fall absolutely perfect to have that angle.
Right.
this 8-ball go? He's not looking at the 10, is he?
I think he's looking to see what's going to happen to the 10. No, what's going to happen to the 14. He's trying to manage that ball after.
I like him
the
shooting
8-ball.
the 11-ball here.
I think I prefer this route. Yeah, that's what he was looking at. What was going to happen to that ball?
Well, now he's going to roll forward and maybe use the
Right.
14 to break
Right.
some balls out, and he's got nothing left on the back rail as any type of insurance situation here in case he gets stuck. And if you look at these balls, if you're looking at the 9 and 1, the 4 and 7, they're all kind of hitting each other solid, so there's not going to be much movement. So in here, you want to try to get something that you can have the balls move, because he gets a cue ball here, he can get stuck. I think he's going to roll forward for the 14 and take his chance.
We need the telestrator, and Bobby is drawing imaginary lines on the screen we're looking at, which I know you guys can't see. so Bobby, where's the telestrator so that we can draw all over this?
Well, I can tell you they got a fine setup here.
That's great.
But we don't have a telestrator.
First boat.
Hal, if you're going to call me in, upstate Hal, you're going to call me in, we're going to need a telestrator next time.
I want the camera on the boom, too.
See, there's the problem. As I said,
no.
the 9 and 1 were lined up, and the 4 and 7 were lined up where they were solid. They weren't hitting the side of the ball. You need to, when you go into them, you need the balls to hit like 25% of the ball. So
Right, you're correct.
they kind of spread out a little more. He's facing some difficulties now, Lou. I don't even know what he can do. I mean,
Well, he's going to slice that 4-ball. That's not. He's definitely. That's not going to slow him up. But the question is, what happens to the cue ball?
Well, it's going to go toward the 10.
It's going to go into the 10,
which means nothing, and he has a 7-ball.
But the ball in front of the pocket, the red ball in front of the pocket, may be a salvation.
I really thought he should have shot that 11-ball when he got up there. I think he was trying. He just fell short. Well, this is a duplicate of the last rank. He's just trying to get through and make something at the end. Oliver used to tell me that great German player. He used to tell me, he says, "Don't worry about it. Just figure it all out at the end of the rack."
Oh, shoot.
He was elevated. Okay, so his friend's going to end. He's got, let's see, how many balls are left there, Lou? 8?
4 and 8. 8.
So yeah, the 21 ball run.
21.
I'm used to counting 14s. I can't count half racks. That's what Siegel told me. He says when I was in school, I used to sit there and draw on a paper, and I only added 14 all the time. The teacher says, "What are you scribbling? Everything is 14s."
Does this 12 pass? Can't quite tell from my angle here.
It's
No, it's definitely not a player.
See, I like shooting the 10 ball here. I like going up table and creating an angle to try to get it. How can you break these balls free?
Well, I think you're right. I think you needed to wait for a better opportunity.
Well, I never liked that shot, but he can shoot the 4-15.
Right.
4-11 combo, and then he can go into these balls. Now you got to figure out where the ball's going to end. He hits any part of the 12 and pushes the 15. The 15 looks like it can go in place. The 12 ball might bounce above the spot.
He's going to gently spin them. Gently spin it into those 3 balls.
Well, he's got a stretch here, and yeah, the 15's still low. The 12 ball is very close, and they have some markings on the table, folks, that y'all can't see. They're like a very light white color, and the 12 ball looks to be in the rack. So if he can shoot the 15 possibly and draw back here, he might have a chance of getting a ball in the rack. I don't know if he can hit enough high ball in order to go back the back rail to get to a loop, because it looks like he's going to have to spin this possibly.
I think I like going to the 4 ball now and then dealing with the balls at the far end of the table and coming back and working these last 3 balls somehow.
I like going after the balls up top now too. Get that over, because you might get an angle to the 4. You can go after him again.
Yeah, but that 4 ball I don't think it helps him get those balls open into a more favorable position for a break.
There's no angle for any type of break unless the 9 ball passes the 4. That would open one of the balls up. I mean, I'm not really sure where this map's going to lead him here, but he's clearing the balls out right now. Yeah, so he's left at 7 here, possibly as insurance in case he got another angle here.
Or a wild card break ball. If nothing develops at this end of the table, he could conceivably use the 7 as a break. Less than ideal, but at this point, nothing's looking really good.
You reckon he's going to leave the 7 and 4 to break? I mean, he's got to use some high inside English here to hit these balls. I think he might have the 10 ball after this.
Oh, nice.
Or 12 ball, I'm sorry. He hit it too hard.
A little hard.
None of these balls are a break shot now. Certainly not. The 7 ball is better than any.
Well, that's it. That's your last resort. That's your. You got nothing else. I guess he's thinking about the 4. He's just thinking about using the 4 as a break.
I think he's in a position here. He's got to shoot this 12 ball. Got to get rid of the 7 ball next now. Well, there's no question it's going to be the 4. Unless he shoots the greatest shot I've ever seen, shooting the 7 and knocking a 9 into position here, it's going to have to be the 4.
I think the 4 is a safe bet at this point. Now, do you come back 1 rail or you go 2 for this?
Well, no, the ball's close to the hole, so I'm definitely only going to use 1 rail. When it's that close to the hole, I don't want to go into a 2nd rail hardly ever. Now, do you think there's any possibility he's going to run the cue ball into the 4 and try for some miracle? I would just lay it where it's at. I would shoot this ball and draw it to the rail, bounce out, have an angle where I can reach at, and be able to snap into the back of the rack for the break
I think
shot.
it's too severe for a draw shot. I think you've got to go 1 or 2 rails, whatever your preference is.
I think he has to draw this.
No.
And draw to the side rail. Wow. Well,
see, even us 14 ball runners know a thing or two, Bobby.
He's got a power stroke. I certainly thought he definitely would muscle that one. Well, can he spend it enough to hit the 13?
I think he
watch
can.
the scratch in the lower corner, too, if it hits multiple balls. Watch that scratch.
Yep.
I saw that coming. Almost got there.
He's okay.
Well, that's back-to-back racks where he almost scratched. I'm not trying to put the jinx on, I promise you. It's just I see those angles happening. Now if he can get these balls loose and get a rhythm here, he can put some racks together and get a lead. 50 or 60 balls at least. It's 9 ball on the side next.
1 ball. Nope.
Yeah, it looked like he had an angle kind of like running toward it. I want to give a shout out to Chris over here. Chris, the stream was down. We have storms here in the area that are pretty severe. You got all the equipment up and running?
Yeah, she's pretty steady now. So the viewers should be happy.
I saw the sweat rolling off your head there. That was hard work.
You see me zipping around here, right?
Wow.
Speedy Gonzalez.
Good work, Chris.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Lou.
You definitely move quicker than than some people for sure.
Is that without the crabs or with the crabs? The seafood or without the seafood?
They've got some great seafood around here.
Yeah, when you get full of them, you don't move fast. Do you?
And, that's all I used to eat when I was younger, because we used to live on an island, City Island in the Bronx.
Right.
So there's nothing but seafood restaurants all over the place. So fried shrimp and french fries was the lunch every day.
Sure.
That was pretty good, too.
Well, speaking of food, I'll tell you right now, if he can get some loose
There
balls,
we go.
he can make chopped liver or fed over here.
That last little nudge really helped him out a lot. Now the balls are much more manageable.
Yeah, if he can get to this 12 ball, it looks like he
Yes,
can.
which
The
you can
15's a
easily.
little high, but that's okay. The 6 ball's in play for a break shot. That's okay. So right now,
This is his chance to kind of get
I
a
like-
rhythm
I
going.
like shooting the 12, bumping the 7,
Yes.
then clear the 14.
Yes. I'm with you on that.
Don't bump the 7 toward the 3.
No,
There's already
just
a
a
problem
gentle
up there.
little thingy. Just like that. Oops.
Did he push the 7
Yeah,
in
you
the
put
sand?
it, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was the key thing. I didn't want him pushing it too far. Well, the shot now really is to shoot the 14 and then fall to the side rail, get that 7 ball on the side, and if he doesn't get there, he can go to the 3. I like shooting the 14.
Don't think you can draw straight back into those balls.
No, go into the back rail. Go into the back rail. Let me give you my telestrator. Go into the back rail. Just come over here and fall flat here.
No, I see the angle.
Maybe it passes.
That'll work. Maybe not. I
I don't think
can't
that's
tell from
right.
here.
I've got a good view, and that 7 ball does not pass by the 11.
Well, you can go 3-1 and come up behind him.
Well, I don't know. He can shoot the 5 and try to get another angle too. I don't think he can shoot the 5 and draw into the 7 though. Nor would he want to. But there's no telling. Well, boy, hit that great, and not only that, he pushed the 11 ball back down about 2 more inches, which is a better angle. Now he's got a tough decision. He can turn around and shoot the 7 ball up table, or shoot the 6. Shooting the 6 doesn't do any good because when he gets to that 6, he wants to clear the 6 and 13 on back-to-back shots.
So you're saying you should leave the 11 as his break ball?
Oh, yeah, because I like the side pocket and everything leading to that side.
I see what you're saying.
Could being right-handed. I really don't like him moving these balls, but looks like he is going to do that. So if he does this, the 6 ball would be his break shot. That 11 ball is just like an absolute perfect position. A couple tables over, so you all know we got Alvin Ocean and Joshua Filler playing, and Joshua Filler is on a 100 ball run. You know what, he ran 100 just now. He walked around, acknowledged it, and he smiled and thanked everybody that was clapping. He ran 2:13 the other night, and he missed. He ran out the door and didn't speak to nobody. After the knockout the initial knockout, where the field got cut in half, he came in seated as the number 9 spot. 8 players went undefeated, and he had one small loss where he lost 125 to 114. And he's got to take that loss and build out his momentum. So here we go here. I mean, he's got a ball up table. He's got 3 balls next to each other. I mean, he's going to go from the 7 to the 2 to the 6. How's this going to end?
Well, I think he's going to take care of business here with the one.
Yeah, then go 7 2 6.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I don't see him going from the 7 to 6 no matter what. I mean, you might as well just kill these 2 balls out here. I mean, anything's possible. He could snap back for the 2 here.
There he goes.
Yeah. Well, now he's going to try to get to this, by the side pocket center of the table for the 7, so he can bump one route to the 6. He don't want to fall on which will be his left side, our right side on the screen on the 7 ball. If he does not more than about a ball, he's twisting this ball 2 rails to the cue ball here. All right, side pocket about a center to the side of the table.
That's looking good.
Yeah. Hey, and from this angle, he doesn't have to be parallel. He can be a little more. He can be on either side of the 6 ball with a cue ball. He'd rather being where the angle is. He's going to go more toward the bottom of the rack. He'd rather have the cue ball more toward the side of the table instead of parallel, just short of being straight.
That's pretty nice work.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. You're going to see him draw this ball. If he doesn't draw it, then he's going to hit this with the simplest, softest stroke he can. Just try to get 2 or 3 balls broken out, and we have a shot on the back rail.
I think he's going to let it rip.
Yes, I mean, that's exactly what I think he's going to do. I don't possibly know what he was doing with that measurement, but he just did. But
he's been doing that in a lot of his matches, I think. He likes to. I think it helps him visualize the exact
angle. Now, if he hits
angle.
Between the 10 and 13, completely between it, he's got to watch drawing off the rack and coming all the way up the table where he's at and scratching.
Right.
Because this cue ball's going to fly. I think it might go into the side rail here after it hits these balls. Just like that. There
Nice.
you go. Boy, it doesn't. Then a lot of balls didn't get apart there, folks. But let me tell you something. He hit it with authority. Is this a combo to start this rack out?
I doubt he wants to do that if he doesn't have to.
Well, you don't want to shoot a 8 or 9 foot shot either.
I think he's going to have to shoot that 3.
Fedor got a tough shot.
Yep.
Okay, real quick, we're going to switch tables here. This is Josh Filler. He's on a run of over 100, and he's got a tough shot. He's on a 112 run. I just figured we change tables. Thank you, Chris.
No problem.
So we can see if his run continues. We hope that he makes this ball here. And what happened? What a shot. What a shot. Everybody's standing up here in the bleachers. We're gonna stay with this one here for a second because we just had a miss on this table. He missed the 12-8 combo. Fedor's at the table. Let's stay with it. Can we stay with the Josh match here for a few minutes here, Chris?
Yeah, that's okay.
What do you think, Lou? You want to see if he runs the 150?
Absolutely.
We got approval from everybody, so this is what we're gonna do.
Everything's by committee here, so.
No, I don't think I really like that too much.
He was trying to improve his
He's
position.
gonna shoot this 11 and then take a crazy shot on the 1 ball. He is laughing to himself. I know his heart's hurting right now. He's a little upset. He's not even
Holy
taking much
cow.
time here. He's on every 1. Can he get to the side pocket? If he can't, he's dead. Chris, can we tune back one over here to table 25, please?
Sure, no problem.
Okay, so his run now is going to be 123. Is that right, Lou?
Yes.
All right. We just got the names wrong, folks. Don't worry about it. I think his run right now, Filler's going to back cut this 11. He's on 123, and it's in. It is in. And he's
got a shot.
He's got a shot.
Sorry.
Small technical difficulties. All right. We've had some storms, folks. So we're in and out of everything. Chris just did 7 hours worth of work in 2 hours and got the stream back going. Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome. It's mind-boggling, but we got it.
To let y'all know, we were going to end up recording pool and playing it later if we couldn't do everything we can to get everything going. Wow, look at this. He's got the 2 for a set of ball, got a 9 in a break area. What do you think, Lou?
He's off to the races.
And
He had
he is
that little bump in the road, and now he's off.
He is moving
Trying to
fast.
get back in a rhythm.
Look at this. He's going to go 8,
He's
5,
just going.
7.
He's got his
He's
foot on the accelerator.
Is this Lou Patera or Joshua Filler?
This seems to be when he does his best work. He gets revved up and just starts firing them in.
You know, him and Albert are good friends, but right now they're worst enemies. He's going to want to fall straight on the 13 to draw back for that 2. Now being left-handed, he can reach across the table. He took, yeah, I thought he'd get a little closer than that. He's going to snap this ball here. He snapped it, even a little farther.
Nice action.
No, he wants to have just a barely small angle about a ball. Right there.
That's
it. That's it. That's going to put him at 140. He ran that rack out in 90 seconds. We just want to get a checkup on the match here. Fedor's on a small run. Filler is on a run of 140. He made his break ball. We're going to tune back there as soon as we can get tuned in. Chris, how are we looking for table 25?
We're good on 25. I just want to give the viewers the score for the actual stream table.
Okay.
We'll switch right back over.
That's going to be
a couple seconds.
43 to 14. Okay. All right, Filler's on. Is he on 141? He's on 142. Wow. He still has a tough shot. Boy, he's actually pumped up here. Here he is again. He's laughing at himself. He's got to get a bridge here somehow. Maybe even with an extension to get to this 14. Can he shoot the 6, Lou?
He can, but I don't think he wants to lose control of the Cuba like that.
7 is pretty close.
I think he's got to shoot this 14 ball.
Can you see it from over here, off camera? Is he going for 2 bridges here? A double-decker bridge to shoot the 14 or a single-decker?
Single deck.
He's going to cut
He
this.
can do it.
He's going to aim really thin here.
He can do it.
He's definitely going to think about this for a second. And also an extra $500 bonus money if he happens to keep going. It's in.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beat a possible skid there.
Yeah, that was actually a thought too.
That was a skid angle.
Yeah. Hitting down through the top. He didn't even mess with his 5. He's going to shoot the 6 and just get to an area where he can get some shots. That's good. If he leaves 5 on the table, he's at 150. And boy, he's got his rhythm now. He's pushed the 7. Now realize he's already known he wants to go past 150. He pushed the 7 to a position. Or he's playing for 3 to win the match.
I think that's a foregone conclusion. But now the question is he going to hit 200?
He's playing for 1 for the match, but he's going to continue because he pushed a 7 ball in position. 150 and out by Joshua Filler. Is this guy on fire this week or what, Lou? He instantly said he's going to continue the tournament referee crawl. Kanswitz let us know. He's going to try to beat his own record of 213. I knew, Lou, I felt when he pushed that 7 ball in position that he was trying to. Now, you want to see a guy that's going to change his pace. He's just went from speed limit 65, and he's going to go to speed limit 90 now. I don't think he's going to take much time anymore.
Not so
He should have took some time
Not
there,
so
though.
good. But he's got the stroke to draw this off the rail. No problem.
He wants to get straight into the 5. Oh, look at this.
Nice.
He free-wheeled it with 3 rail inside English. And now, he's got a 2-rail this ball instead of 3-rail this one.
He's letting the
No, he
stroke
did go
out.
3. He's gonna fall flat. This ball won't have no energy going into the stack. He's gonna be stuck between the second and third ball. It looks like mainly the second ball. So folks, there's no changes on the front table right now. We'll keep an eye on the chat room. Which match do y'all want to see? Do y'all want to see the beginning of the Fedor Gorst match, or do you want to see Joshua Filler's run continue? Let us know. Back on? Okay.
From there, that's a pretty good spread from where he was.
He's just got one tough shot, which is 6 ball. He's tied up some balls on the back rail. He is not happy. He is not happy. I felt he should have just tried to shoot 11 and back cut that and then get onto the other side, but he decided to go the other way. Okay. He's got to come with something here, and I think it's got to be the 2 ball.
It's got to be the 2 ball.
Yeah,
The 4 ball might possibly pass, but I don't think so.
Can the 5 go in the side pocket?
No.
So it's going to have to be the 2.
Or the 11.
Big pocket, bigger pocket this way. This is a little bit short.
Ooh, no go.
Go ahead, end it. Okay. So we got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 3, a run of 157. True. Appleton ran 200. I always want to make sure I give credit where it's due. Carl had said that's the highest run in an event since 1992 when Siegel ran 150 out against Zuglin. I'm not going to knock Siegel, but Darren Appleton ran 200 and out in the finals against Francisco Bustamante in a large straight pool tournament here maybe 10 years ago. But still great credit there. And that was right from the gate. He just ran the 150 and out. Boy, you could just, it seemed like he had a little nerves there, Lou. What do you think?
I think he the way he already had 200 plus run, and I think he thought in his mind that the best way to exceed that was just a freewheel and not think about things too carefully. I mean, that's what it looked like to me. Just he thought that was the right path to take.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. He has knocked out one of the favorites in the tournament, Albin Ocean, who is a phenomenal player. I think he's ranked 2nd in the world right now. Actually, I think that match was against number 1 in the world and number 2 in the world. That is correct. The number 1 in the world just knocked out the number 2 in the world. So Albin is going to finish in the 9 through 16 slot.
So he's gonna go behind these balls.
Well, he wants to get the bottom ball to 12.
Right.
Never like that. He's obviously going to be using the 8 ball as a break ball because he would have nothing to leave him to the 15. Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously, that's the classic way to play. But the problem that he has is having a pocket for the 3. And the 1. The 1 can go on the side. He's going to shoot the top ball.
He's going to leave himself the 8.
Oh, he's going to go for a 3 ball for position now. That way, if he falls at a funny angle, he has the 12 as a backup. Very smart shot.
leaving himself a nice triangle at the end there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah. If he can get fall straight to the 10, it's 10-1 and go from there. But I think he's going to go from the 1 to the 10.
1 to the
here.
10.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to go to the rail here. You want to make sure that you don't fall too far high because you'll be dead.
He's good. He's good.
Yeah, you can fall here and just take a shot. He'd want to fall dead straight on the 10 ball if he could, or as close as possible, because then from there he could just bump off the rail or get that angle. That's one of my favorite angles right there from the rail, where you can have a rail bridge. Yeah, he's good. So Lou, I think he's gonna bump this ball off the rail and put. I think he's gonna put the cue ball.
Do you like a real severe angle from here?
Yes. I think he's going to put the cue ball exactly where the 10's at right now. I mean, exactly. Oh, he did bump it up. I would have liked a little more severe.
Right.
But I just realized he's going to put some mustard on this ball here. And your the severe angle is hard for some players to make, and you're going to have to hit it a little harder. But it gives a little more room for the cue ball to get out of the slide and become a roll and break those balls apart. And be like the old woodpecker days where the ball just keeps on packing into the stack with some high angles. That was what Mosconi, he loved the wide angles.
He loved doing that.
No doubt. The greatest straight pull player in history. How could you ever question him? Oh, I wish he was still alive. I had so many great conversations with him. So he can comment on today's pool.
You know, he didn't have a high regard for too many other players, but I have to think that if he were witnessing the level of play that we're seeing nowadays, he would have to give them their due.
Oh, no, he would love it.
He would have
He'd
to
love that challenge, too.
He was a very, egotistical, haughty kind of individual, and deservedly so. I mean, he was a savant. But I've got to believe that he would acknowledge the greatness of the current crop of players and the level that they're playing at.
Sure. I just often wonder, and it's so hard to think, Lou, but I just know his work ethic. If he was ever set up to play where he would just say, okay, look, do nothing but run high runs, and we're going to make sure that every run's counted as a record. I've asked Siegel and Varner this. There's no doubt that they said that he would run 1,000 balls if there was incentive. He could play for days.
I'd have to agree.
And, he told me that he thought he ran over 600 5 to 6 times, and Clooney thought he ran a 700 once. That's a misconception of that his high run was 526, and like Charlie Rossetti says in the video, that's baloney for Mosconi.
It was just a job for him.
That's just Mosconi.
Way to pay the bills.
Brunswick just wanted to have an announcement that they can have something, some type of certification, but by far that wasn't his high run. Not even close. He ran 580, I think it was 586 or 589 the day before he played Minnesota Fence in 1979 on ABC Wide World of Sports, with Charlie Rossetti racking the balls and P.D. Margot as a witness.
He had a billiard table, a pool table,
and
set up in his hotel room to warm up. That was part of his contract.
Yeah, he was 66 years old when he ran 589 balls. So I don't know, the 526 is kind of baloney. But I guess for record books to have something printed, I guess that was about all that was good for.
Boy, I don't know about that. You're sending so many balls to the far end of the world. All the old-timers just really like to play half the table, right?
Yeah, I mean, they just didn't go into the stack very hard. You got to remember that these guys, a lot of the balls, They were just the heavy 6-ounce balls that did the damage in the racks like they do now. There were 5-ounce balls. You had, the old Forceman and Malley cloth that was dirt. Some of it was even directional. A really large nap, and it shed a lot. Conditions were tough. People talk about the pocket sizes, but I really think the cloth and the balls was the biggest factor. Not to mention, in today's world, these guys got these low deflection cues, and the equipment is so much better. No offense to Balabushka, I own one, but the equipment in today's world is much better. But Mosconi, back in those days before, I think he had his Balabushka built in 65 or 66, somewhere in that area. I mean, he played basically with a Brunswick house cue that got chopped in 2 pieces and put a brass joint in it and made by Herman Rambo. No technology.
No layered tip, no special job.
I've seen the cue, and all the shafts wobbled across the table.
Well, he was notorious for banging his cue against the balls when he was doing his exhibitions. He'd run the 150 or the 125, whatever it was, and then he'd set up his trick shots. And the way he got all the balls into position for his exhibition was to just slap the bejesus out of the balls. So I'm wondering, what did that shaft feel like?
Well, none of the old timers really cared about high runs again. Mosconi never advertised when he ran 609 and all the other runs. It didn't mean nothing to him. But, as I had stated, and most people don't know, that last year ran 500 on a 5x10 with witnesses at his home, and he never told anybody. He made his money gambling. He didn't want people to know he was running balls. He ran 500 and quit on a 5x10, which brings me to the fact is, it's never been done ever before where people have just lined up to try to beat their own personal high runs or record any recordings for any runs. Just so happens that's getting ready to change a little.
I was just about to give you the segue.
So I think it's a good time to.
Bobby,
to
you got an announcement for anybody? Anything you want to bring up?
Yeah, I'll start off real quick. Let's wait till we get to intermission with the next rack here.
All right.
Well, just remind me, and I'll let you loose.
Master of drama.
Yeah, got a good announcement anyway.
So, obviously using the 13 ball, probably leaving the 6 as his key ball.
Well, I don't know. I think he's going to take the 6 out now. It just seems like because he's got to lead himself unless he leaves the side pocket.
Do you really think he wants to be further away?
Yeah, I think he's going to be using that stripe and rolling down.
Okay, you are correct.
He's got to get this cue ball somewhere out to the center to play the 3 or the 7.
Leaving the side pocket
break. That's
break.
what I said, unless he leaves a side pocket break shot. So the question is, what side pocket will it be? Which ball? We know which side pocket it'll be.
This will be an interesting choice.
Actually, he can end up going here and fall into the 3 ball, take the stripe off the rail, and then play the 7 ball on the opposite side. But he'd have to fall perfect on this, and he has not. He's okay.
It's all right.
He's okay, but he's gonna have to get an angle here for the 11 and bump out to be able to play that side pocket shot.
Just go to the end rail.
No, I think he's just going to roll this forward. I really want. I think it's more of getting the right angle instead of getting closer. He doesn't want to take this ball to the rail though, just short of it. Now he can bump into the rail.
Right.
And
he can pick and choose his angle.
He wants the cue ball to be almost in line with the bottom point of the side pocket. So he's going to bump this out. And then try to get about 2 balls off the rail. As such, I would have liked to be a little higher.
He's going to need to womp it.
He's not happy.
He's going to need to womp it.
But this all fell from him not getting good enough on the 3 ball, and that was a long thing to ask to go from the 11 to the 3 up table. So, Louis, what was I supposed? Where was I at here? Folks, if you're out there, tune in to Facebook on the Legends of Pocket Billiards. That's our page. Got some exciting news that's getting ready to happen, and I'll go ahead and let you all know. Our event was originally scheduled for November the 1st. It has now moved to November 2nd. The first player to schedule was Ruslan Chenohoff. we're going to move him to next week. Lou, we got somebody special coming in for the week.
You do?
We do. We have Captain America, Shane Van Boning,
Sweet.
coming in to break his personal high run and maybe further. He's going to be there the whole week, and he can go into multiple weeks if he wants to. So we're going to have Shane coming in for high run attempts, and who knows, maybe more. Certainly, it's been worth his while, as we discussed with him, and
That's
had a
really
great
exciting
conversation
news.
with him.
Do you have knowledge or are you able to speak to what other players might be interested in participating?
Well, there's a lot of information I haven't delivered to the public here, and I know you're our personal relations man, and me and you've discussed it. I think I would just let everybody know that these players have schedules, and sometimes it changes, especially the Europeans. These European tours and their sponsors and everything they have to deal with. Obviously we got Ruslan. I don't have a list of 15 or 20 players. I'm not going to discount really any top player from ever being able to participate in our event, but we have a flight of players that have to go before anybody else, and we also have women players too. People got to understand this isn't just about men. This is about women. We're trying to cover all a pool. But to let you know, we some of the players, if you want to know, we have Josh Filler has agreed to play. Fedor Gorst has agreed to play. Dennis Orculo.
I thought I heard something concerning Alex Pagulayan.
Alex wanted to play before he wanted to get in here and play before I had everything even done. And I told he's part of Roy's basement. And hey, Roy, if you're out there, put a plug in there for you. But I told Roy, I said, we're just not ready yet. We had to do a little maneuvering around in our private academy there and get everything situated. We just weren't ready. We're still a little premature on things, but everything will be finished up completely this week. And we'll be ready for Shane. He's going to have basically 1 day or 2 days here after the International, and he will be coming in showing his talent. And there's going to be plenty of viewers. So, folks, you can we'll put that announcement up there today or tomorrow on our Facebook page, but look it up. It's called The Legends of Pocket Billiards on Facebook. The only way you will be able to watch our stream is through Facebook. We will not be on Ustream or YouTube or iStream.
That's pretty good from
and
there.
if anybody has any questions, Lou, they can direct them through the Legends of Pocket Billiards, through the message system there. I'm sure that you're going to be posting something on the AZ Billiards
yes, sir.
Columns or forums. You're very good at that. Fantastic writer. We're
Not all agree. However, I'll do my best. Yes.
Oh, anyway, your best is way better than I could ever even think of doing. We appreciate all your hard work. So very exciting news.
No, it's fantastic. If you love straight pool,
After talking to Shane last night, and he wanted to go. I asked him to go into the middle of November, and he says, "No, I'm excited. After talking to you, I want to go right now." So we've made some adjustments with the schedule, and we will see Shane here in just a short time here, basically 10 days.
That's going to be great.
That is exciting. I'm sure his sponsors will like that, and his fans, and he will be posting on his personal page to let everybody know what is happening. Our situation here is, what can he do? He's going to play safe here. He's going to put the cue ball back where it's at right now. Lou, does that 11 go on the side?
I don't think that goes, but I
Does
think
he back out the one?
I think the one ball is doable for somebody like Fedor. Maybe most of us would pass on that, but I think that's within his skill set. don't know. Maybe the 11 does pass to the side. He's looking that way too.
A lot of friends out in the chat. Hey, Anthony D'Amico, good to see you on the chat. How you doing? I'm not able to see the chat, but I finally got an angle here to see a few things. If anybody has any questions, please post them, and if we have time, we will get to them. Now, there was that 11 ball.
There was that 11 ball.
Maybe he just didn't, want to push the 8 and 5 out because there was some established break balls there at the time, Lou. Hello, Martin Rexon. Welcome. Okay. Well, he can shoot the 1 and not disturb the 8 here.
I think he's going to move some of the furniture around here.
Charlie Doss, we've posted pictures Lou has on AZ Billiards, but in case you want to know, it is a gold crown 3, a black gold crown. Came from the University of Houston. They recovered them one time and put them in storage for many, many, many years. Our club bought the tables. The table didn't need new cushions on it. The corner pockets are just under 5 inches. .760 Simonis, Airmouth balls. Anything else that we forgot there? People were asking a few questions about the tables and pockets for our event.
Do you want to talk about the template?
Yeah, we have a template to rack the balls. It's a template that stays on the table, just like you would see. I noticed a template like that when I was over when I've played in the All Japan World Championships, where it's just little clear decals that stick on the table. And the reason for that, Lou, that I picked that template is that the balls can be racked quicker. The players or the person racking can never have a loose rack for any type of advantage. They can't be crooked, any other thing. We're full disclosure, folks. I mean, that's what Lewis said. It was important, and I took his advice there to have everything. He used a different word. What was that word you used?
Transparency.
Transparency. Okay.
I feel like that's just critical.
Yeah.
Try to be upfront with as much as we possibly can.
Sure. And we'll be trying to do a live.
No magic tricks.
A live question and answers, for a Q&A for everybody online. Whenever we get going, the important thing I wanted to make sure was that we produced video, just like here, that is free. I didn't want people to have to pay to watch the top players in the world and men and women play. I want it to be free, and the important thing was also that there's no edited videos, no time delays, no commercials. And
I'd like you to this is not rehearsed, folks. I'm asking them questions as an interviewer, like I would anybody else. You spoke to me at one time about your motivation for doing this, and it concerned your desire to do something great for pool. Can you speak to that for a few moments?
Well, Lou, I was in the retail business. I had stores for 20 years before I had got out of the business. And so, obviously I couldn't make a living playing pool or nothing, but I love pool. I have a lot of history with pool. I mean, I learned a lot from a lot of great players. I was able to speak to Lassiter before he passed away, and Mosconi and a few other greats. And as I was in my stores, I spent a lot of time with Nick Varner, and whenever time somebody mentioned high runs, it didn't never mean nothing. There was no meaningless because there was never no financial motive. So I wanted to put together something. It's been in my mind for even a couple of decades to have an event of some sort for the pros whenever I had time. Well, at this stage of my life, I've had a few health problems and I'm recovering from that. But I just want to donate what I can. I've always tried to donate to everybody that I could, but I think the timing is right now. I'm playing very little pool, but I'm still playing pretty good. But I would just really like to have the players around and finally give them some motivation. It's never been done in the history of our sport, besides like a derby challenge. And Steve Kurtz put together a nice thing over at Valley Forge, where it had a few high runs, but the table conditions were just too tough for players to run 600, 700, 800 balls or something on a diamond table. So the thought process in my mind was, what would happen if we put a player in an atmosphere where it was comfortable and they could focus without an opponent. It's never been done. It's never been offered. And I just really thought it was a good idea. I don't know what more I can really say.
I think it's going to be a great event. Really looking forward to it.
I think the motivation a lot of times is for the players is the chance to have a chance to make some money. Lou got all choked up here.
I've been dealing with this frog in my throat for the last couple of weeks, and it's almost gone, but it comes and goes and gives me a little cough. So I'm sucking the Denasi here.
So for, there's, I want to make sure I make something clear. I've spoke to Siegel. I spoke to Varner. I spoke to a couple of the top pros. I know Hopkins has said something before. Not one of these guys ever. I want to make sure that I tell you all this. Not one time ever have they ever tried to beat anybody's record. They've only tried to improve their own record of high runs, and it rarely happened that they win everything. Nobody's ever chased after Cranfield or Moscone or nothing like that, any of these top players, because there was never no incentive. I know one player recently maybe had some incentive from his sponsor, and that's about it. I mean, there's never been no motivation. Well, I'm going to let you know something. The motivation happens through money, through finances, and at this stage of my life, I've decided I'm going to start giving money away. Can't take it with you. Never seen an armored truck at a funeral. So I'm okay financially, and I've decided to put up some good money for the players to come in.
There's some real good knowledge.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, don't mug me in the parking lot. So I don't know what more I can say. I just think it would be fun for everybody, and I absolutely see no reason that there could be any negativity whatsoever. It's the first time anything like this has been done, so that's where it's at. And also the first round of, I want to make sure I will let this out of the bag, because you were one of the committee members. I have put together a committee. I'm self-funded on this, as you know. I've put together a committee of 5 people, so I can't make all the decisions myself. As you know, I've had to contact you for decisions and other people of the committee, so I'm not playing favoritism. Everything that goes through goes through a group of y'all guys, and I appreciate everything that y'all do.
We've already had several instances where the votes have been split.
Yeah, well, that's the key thing, but the qualifications, the very first thing is, beside the player's attitude, that was the first thing that we had decided, was that the second thing was that a player, in order to participate in our event, has to be invited, and the next thing is they have had to win a world championship, a sanctioned world championship, in order to be able to play in our event. That doesn't have to be straight pool, because straight pool hasn't happened. I think that ended in 2010. So basically speaking, you've had not a U.S. Open, not a local tournament, nothing like that. You had to win a world title in order to qualify to be on the very first fleet of our players. After that, I'm sure we talked about we're going to re-vote on some players and get them in there. The players will have to play a minimum of 5 days and up to 30 days at a time, putting in 6 to 8 hours a day. And all the players that I've talked to and that have approached me are all more than willing, once they found out the finances, that they have a chance to win.
Well, it's going to be fantastic, and I'm personally looking forward to it, regardless of whatever my personal involvement is.
Yeah. Okay, well, here back
So
to
getting back to our
He's
match.
going to have to go back and forth here.
Let's see, he's a little short, but workable.
No, Jerry, we're not having any type of high-run tournament. No opponents will be playing each other. It's one player at a time, 5 days at a time. Case closed. The women, I don't think we'll have to. We spoke of requirements for them having a minimum of 2 days at a time, but I'm going to leave that up to the committee and also myself and the players themselves. Well, look at how those balls all come back
that
together.
sometimes happens when you kind of modulate your stroke a little bit, and you don't hit it really hard, and you don't hit it soft, and the balls spread out and come back together again.
Well, does he shoot the 2-12-9 off the 8 here? Does he shoot the 5 off the 14? Does he bank the 7?
Ugh. Those are some ugly choices.
I really like the 9 off the 8 from the angle. I can see it from my direction. It's really close, and I think
It is close.
I think he's eyeballing this.
But there would be a severe penalty if he
He's behind in the
drop.
match, and he's playing an opponent that can take off the shot
Right,
if he misses.
right. Now this looks interesting. The 9-4-15. He's looking at that too.
Well, one thing for sure, this could make the difference if you make at this point you make 1,000 or you can make 10,000 because you shoot a shot
Right,
like this
right.
and miss and you're done.
The multipliers here.
You make a shot like this, it can set you the win too. I'm more the aggressive type. I got a chance to win, and I can smell the finish line. I smell the blood. I go for it.
I think we're going to look at a 3-ball combo here. This would be pretty spectacular. It's not automatic. Shout out to corner man, Freddie Agnew. Sorry about that, bud.
I'm not sure what happened.
Do you want to show Chris that?
We're back now. Yeah, they've had to reset all this equipment. Chris is working on his own here. Upstate Al, his father is over helping Pat Fleming at the International. We have another tournament that is 10 minutes away. That is getting ready to start. So it's we had a power outage here. We had a major storm come through here, Virginia Beach, and I know when I drove here from the hotel this morning, there was cars in the middle of the road with their hazard lights on. They couldn't even drive. So I lost some power. They've spent a few hours here and got everything back up, and they're trying to fine-tune everything. So you can let us know let us know now, folks, how the volume is. Is that the corner man here?
I also
Freddie?
have.
Oh, hi, Freddie.
I have an important announcement for everybody who reads AZ Billiards. I did spot Bob Jewett's briefcase just a few moments ago. So the briefcase and Bob are in the building. So any of you that were concerned about the briefcase, you can sleep tight tonight knowing that he's got it. He's got the briefcase. We don't know what's in the briefcase. We don't know what codes, what tapes. We just don't know. But it is in Bob's possession. I'm looking at it now.
That's the case. That looks like the
Case.
$1 million
Bob's got a
case.
briefcase with him. He's right beside me here. They want to know what's in your briefcase, Bob.
He'll never tell. He'll never tell.
They're asking what's in your briefcase. He said, I don't know what's in the briefcase, but it's full of cash. Yes, Oliver, unfortunately, Shane Van Boning is out. Oliver Szolnoki, who is playing Fedor now, ran, I think it's 102 or 104. I don't remember the number, and out on Shane and knocked him out. Shane immediately left the building.
Left the building quickly.
And went to the next tournament, which is 10 minutes away, international, to go practice.
Do you like the 12 for a break?
Well, you got to think of what's going to lead anything. The 7 doesn't go in the side. He needs to come up here and get a little high and get to it. So 11 ball is the problem ball right here. And he's hit this a little hard. So he's going to have to shoot the 12 here, roll forward and play the 6 on the side somehow, or shoot the 12, leave the 14 as the break ball and just take care of that now, which he did. I had liked the 14 being a right-handed player, and even as he is a right-handed player, you want to be on that side of the rack because it's always easier to reach the balls.
Bobby, I mentioned this to you earlier. One of the things that I've noticed at the tournament is that the many of the Europeans are using that two-rail positional play out of the corner to an extent much more than I seem to remember anyone else using or seeing it in previous events.
And that's very strange because their history is to not to move the cue ball much because a lot of them have a snooker background. So they like to just make the ball and use the little bit of rails that they can. But if you will notice, most of them, when cueing the ball, they tend to stay below center on so much more of their shots. And also, they tend to hit the balls the same speed a lot. He's going to have to think about getting down to this 5 ball sometime here. And he's looking good here. Now, he is going to have an angle for the 7 ball that's even wider than where he is at now. But he wants to make sure, he wants to get this cue ball to the last diamond by the side pocket, just before the side pocket, with a little bit of angle. He could possibly go 2 rails and bounce out here. I like the 1 rail. And don't go into the 2nd rail because that way you know the angle you're going to have.
That's about perfect.
Yeah, so here, he doesn't have to do much. He's going to hit a little left to cut the angle out down here. But he's going to move the cue ball forward too. And he wants to have an angle. He wants to be actually almost parallel to the 14, no more than a ball difference.
Just right.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely seasoned. He knows the angles and where to leave himself. Okay, we're going to update a score here.
Never hurts to check where you're going to go into the stack.
Well, it's funny from this angle here when you're thinking, can I hit 1 ball? Can I hit 2 balls? But when you're thinking, I want to hit high ball, I want to hit low ball. I don't think he's going to hit these very hard. If he is, he's going to hit it really hard or really soft. He's going to try to get about 6 or 7 balls free here, or all of them. He tried for all of them.
Bumpity bump bump.
Wow.
He's all right.
Look at the bakery is open here. If that ball falls, what does he have? If that ball fell, he wouldn't have had a shot.
Well, which are you talking about, the 13 or the 1?
The ball at the side pocket.
Yeah, but he's still got the 1 ball as a hanger, so he could have sliced that ball down the rail.
What are you talking about, slicing the 5 into it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't think that's too bad.
yeah, I can see from over on this angle here. It's pretty steep. There's no doubt in my mind he's shooting his 13 ball. I think he's got to decide what to do. Now, the problem with this rack right now is the 8 ball. The 8 ball blocks the 7, 6, and 11, and 4,
Right.
and 3, everything. He needs to shoot this ball here. I wouldn't be surprised if he plays this cue ball 4 rails from the 13, falls between the 1 and 11, and plays the 8 ball next.
Really?
I think he should send this ball 4 rails around the table.
1,
He's a
2.
little short. The only reason being is I thought the angle was pretty safe to go from there. So in either case, the thought process is the same. He's got to get to the 8. See, the reason being, I would have liked to left that 1 as a hanger. And he had no way to scratch.
Hmm.
No. He's got a little work to do now. More work than he would have had to. He's got to shoot this 8 ball, and he's going to have to get to. I feel he should foul to the 6. What do you think, Lou?
I think I've seen him shoot this shot before, and he likes to go into the balls. He like go right into the 2 ball.
I like shooting the 8 and falling just below the 4, and playing the 6 next.
I think he might go into him. I don't know. Nope.
Yeah, just below the 4, play the 6. And the problem he has now is what's going to stop this cue ball.
The 15.
Now, it's possible he could shoot the 15 now instead of the 6 too, by the way.
I think he'll just catch a little bit of the 15. No big deal.
Actually, that's 11 ball. I'm sorry. I said 15 too.
I have trouble seeing the color on the screen.
I'm sorry. I don't know the women's high run. Are they paying out for it like the men's? No, they're definitely not paying $500 every round for the women. The women's a short field. It's 15 players. I believe there is a high bonus, but I think it's going to be I think it's for the tournament only.
Okay, so he got an unexpected bounce off the object ball, and it went way wide and hit a ball that I don't think he was intending to hit.
This just falls back to the same thing. I like him going from that ball that was hanging on the side, and he couldn't scratch a simple 4 rail or get to the 8, and then he could have come up top, got to the 1, and cleared out that section of 3 balls. He's got problems now. I don't even know what he has. Does it to the 12 ball
Well,
go?
5 to the 4 or
Then cut in 11.
3. About 3 looks like it might pass. It's got a combo to the side pocket.
If he makes a terrific shot on the 5, he would have to come back and forth, hit 3 cushions side by side to get to the 4 ball.
No. He can just play 1-2 rail position to the 4. Just come across table.
What about just cutting to 11 and coming up and down the table?
Okay, well, I guess, you know.
The only thing he can do wrong is hit it too far.
Yeah.
He's hit this great.
He hit it fantastic.
He get an angle for the 4, then he can maybe tap a ball or get above and knock out the 3, which leaves the 9. But then if he moves the 3, Lou, yeah, he doesn't have a break ball.
I think he might set himself up for a power draw to come into the 2 ball.
Well, I don't really like going into the balls here. He's just too far away from him. There's no energy on the cue ball.
Well, that's different. I don't think the 12 goes.
Well, the key thing here is does the 2 pass the 4? That's the key thing. If he shoots the 12, does the 2 pass the 4?
I don't think he can shoot the 12. 12 won't pass.
I think it's very close. If not, he's going to shoot the 3 ball. So I'm wondering if the 2 passes by the 4.
I guess it passes.
Well, the 12 does the 2 pass by the 4? The answer is no. So the 2's going to go on the side now. He's going to go 4, 2 on the side, bump the 9 to the side, and then shoot a stop shot on the 9 and get to the 3. Seems a little advanced, but that's what I see. Just like so.
Just like that.
So once you get an angle to the 9 to where it's below the 9, key thing, don't be above it, you're dead. So you want to be below the 9 where he can roll up or just move forward a little bit. Angle to the 3, and then he's got a great break shot. He would have liked that.
Yeah.
He's got to hit here. This is called hitting a heavy ball. So he's going to have to hit this ball heavy. Some players here are afraid to roll the ball out to the center and hit this heavy, and then what they'll do is they'll go into the back rail here.
Well, he can scoot the 3 ball over a little bit, and then if the cue ball goes forward, he's all right.
Yeah, I mean, or he's going to hit a high left and go into the back rail. You know, he's going to hit the ball heavy, or he's going to the back rail. He hit it heavy. Okay, so now he's going to be drawing the ball into the second ball in the pack. Hello.
How you doing?
How are you doing?
That easy with the 3 balls so close like that?
Yeah. Anything's easy for these guys. It's just not going to have much. There's not going to be. Okay, Lou, you know, one of my favorite shots is to draw into the side rail. He can't draw the side rail here, so what he's going to do is smash in from the 3, and he's going to hit. He would like to hit the top side of the 10 and go one rail out to the center. You got to be careful of the side pocket scratch that way. So I think he's just going to hit here and just smash into it and kill the cue ball.
Nice, nice velocity.
Killing the cue ball was the best thing. All right, what is basically we have a tie game. It looks like here. Both of the players are about halfway to the finish line. A little early for them to smell the finish line for sure. But it's getting there. One rail to oh,
Ooh.
that was not a decision I would have made. He does have, you know, the 1 ball would have been a good break ball, but I think he's looking at the 12, which is a little low in the rack.
There are still enough balls in the rack area that he can manipulate something. He can manufacture something.
Well, the only problems I see right now is the 8 and 11, and the 8's going to be played on a combo here in a second. Or at least I think it will be, unless it's an 11 ball. One of these 2 balls should be playing into to a combo to the 15 on the bottom rail, or he's got to bounce back up. Maybe shoot the 5 and just tap the 8. And if he does that, these balls can split here. One could go one way, go the other, and create 2 more chances for break shots too. I'm sorry, folks. I was doing my telestrator here on the screen that y'all can't see.
I'm the only guy that can see Bobby on the telestrator.
I'm not going to hear this. Wait till we see the write-up on AZ Billiards about that, right?
Okay, that's a nice move. Yeah, left himself the 9. And
well, he's got, you know, when you talk about triangle patterns, which I explained to you earlier and the people out there, he's got a little triangle here at the end with the 12, 7, and 9, but he's going to take out the 9 now. Now he's got a decision if he's going to play this combo now, which I would never do this because I want to leave it as a break shot, but he's looking at getting this out. I'm just curious to see if do you think the 11 ball is going to pass? Because he's leaving the 4 balls as break ball now.
I think the 11 passes.
Okay, well, if the 11 passes, then he should shoot the 14 now and reach up and grab the 11 next. Okay, he's looking at that. No, the 11-8 does not go. He should just go here. He's going to go 2 rails with the cue ball. Come up a little bit, and he wants to try to get fairly straight to 11 so he can just knock out the 8 next. He's fell a little short of where he wanted to be. I think he's
Maybe he
okay.
wants to go to the 7. Excuse me, the 3.
That's not something I would have did, but
Do you think he was trying to nudge that ball off the rail?
No,
No.
I don't think so. At this point, folks, whenever the idea with this game, to simplify it, I can only give you the advice I got from years ago, is you want to try to clear the table, the ball's up table when you can, and so you don't have more than 4-foot shots that are available. Next thing is when you get the balls free and the balls are not touching each other, don't ever touch them again because you can create problems. You do not want to tap balls when they're free. So he's going to go 5, 7, 2 in the side, draw back, 4 ball for the break shot, and then we're in the next rack, Lou. Very smart. Now, he really wants to make sure, first of all, you want to fall below the 2 or straight in. You do not want to be above it, sort of like the angle he has now. That would be fatal because the 4 ball is above the table spot. And you got to have really good parallel angles going into the rack next time.
I don't know that it would be fatal. It complicates things. You got to send the cue ball a greater distance, but it's still workable.
How would you say that? Fatal Fedor.
Fatal Fedor. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Nicely done.
I like the angle here. This is the angle that I like going into the rack, and then the cue ball a lot of times you can control it where it actually will hit the balls and go to the side rail and avoid getting smashed up with balls. So if that score is correct, we're 83-71. What did he start with? 30 something. This run. Does anybody know here? If y'all know out there in the pool world, what did Fedor when he got to the table? How many balls did he start with before he started?
I was distracted by the filler run.
Yeah. It was in the 30s. But we know it's was it 154 that Joshua Filler ran for the high run of the session so far?
I think so, yes.
So he has a high run of the session and high run of the event right now he's holding. Now see how he drew the cue ball to the side rail? That's one of my favorite shots because then you rarely will have a ball that follows you that way to where you can get tied up. I love that angle. A shout out to Joshua Filler too. The announcement that I just saw, he got picked to the Moscone Cup team. He got the news today. Congratulations! Nice. He could very easily been the first pick for sure.
They waited so long. Maybe they just weren't sure about him.
Oh, now come on now, Lou.
Obviously, it was a close call.
Yes, Chris. Filler won his last match. He got to the table in his race at the 150. He ran the whole 150 out. They let him continue, and he was at 154 and had a tough shot up table, and he hung the 10 ball. He has a 10 ball, and that ended the run. So he's got high run of the session for the day at 154, high run of the event at 213. So
I turned around. I looked outside. Now it's bright and sunny.
Okay. Jerry Stucker just gave us an update. Yeah, Jerry, if that's correct, I appreciate it. You know, Fedor went to the table when it was 71-16. That puts him on a 66 ball run right now, guys. Thank you so much, Jerry. He said he rewound it to get the information.
Thank you.
Chris. You got to put him on your payroll, Chris. On your payroll for the techie stuff. It's nice to have people out there that
Yes, sir.
give us a hand here.
That's right.
We're watching multiple tables, high runs. There's a lot going on.
So I'm guessing the weather did take a toll on that internet.
Yeah, that was
Because now it's sunny out and it's just
Yeah.
solid.
yeah, I was about 15 minutes away from this area down on the ocean front, and the storms down there was, like I said, it was crazy. People couldn't even drive. They had their hazard lights on in the middle of the road.
Wow.
You know, them clouds built up a lot of pressure over top of that ocean.
Oh, yeah. You know, Dubai actually puts salt in their clouds to make rain. You know that, right?
Yeah, and they put gold in the cereal too, so you know.
That's true.
Bobby, how do you feel about the balls they're using here today?
These are the new Predator Arcos 2 balls. They're actually a formula made by Aramith. That my knowledge is that they were made from the same formula as the Super Aramith Pros.
Mm-hmm. The players seem to like them.
This is actually the most popular ball set that's on the market right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, even all your major people that are out there that sell on the internet, they've been on back order a few times, and I believe most of the people that are out there have those in stock now.
And the cue ball is the ball that comes with the set?
Yeah, that is the Predator Arcos 2 cue ball.
Oh.
I believe you probably can buy that separately, but why would you want to? Just buy the whole set.
Right.
The set's a really nice set. The formula that these balls are made in play really nice. Well, I can tell you what, they must play nice because these guys are raining hundreds. I mean, you got to think also for these players that have run over 200 balls, like even like when the first day there was 200 ball runs, and Miko ran 182, and Szolnoki ran 194. That was That was basically in their second inning.
They must stay super clean because I have not seen anybody ask the cue ball to be cleaned or any of the balls wiped down.
They are cleaning. They are cleaning between the matches.
Between matches, yeah, of course. But I mean, a lot of times you'll see a player say, "I need the cue ball wiped down," or they'll want a rag rubbed over the balls while they're being racked.
That's always a little iffy because a lot of times what happens is the player just doesn't want to take a chance of a skid.
Sure.
And it gives them a couple extra minutes to, a couple seconds to collect their thoughts,
Right. But I haven't seen any of that, and it's. I attributed it to the quality of the balls.
I've only seen one skid. I don't know how many you've seen, but I saw one skid the whole time I've been watching it. So when
I
you're
saw
asking
one skid. I think it was Mika got one.
Yeah. So when you're asking the quality of the balls, I would say the quality of the balls is fantastic. The quality of the cloth, of course, is the greatest. Is the greatest.
Yeah. Simonis.
And the tables are fantastic.
Simonis cloth. Diamond tables, Predator balls.
Now, he's going to shoot the 8 to the 11, but he doesn't want to fall straight on the 11. He's probably roll this to the center of the table up a little bit. Oh, he's going the other way.
That makes sense to me. Get that ball. It's, a little touchier play position off a frozen ball on the rail.
It was either
For
way.
me.
Yeah, I would have gone 70-30 the other way.
I like what he's doing here.
Well,
He did get a little straight in.
Well, then he's going to have to go into another rail from the 11 to get to the 15. If you notice how much, if you guys out there notice, if you really see how much Fedor plays center table playing this game, he wants to keep the cue ball away from getting in any trouble. Because if you think it's never easy to shoot near a rail. All right, he's good. Now, this is why I wanted to shoot the 12 last, to leave to the 15. The only mistake you could have made was having an angle to cut it too much, or get straight in. And the 11 really kind of led him to a natural. Now he's got an angle which isn't as wide as he wants, so he's not going to be able to generate, even though he's got a great stroke, a lot of power here. The cue ball, if he hits it at best, he would be able to smash into the 12. So I just don't. I think at best, in hitting this rack, he's still going to have a cluster of about 6 or 7 balls in the center of the table when he's done hitting these balls. Yeah, see, there's 5 balls tied up right there in the center, and he did well to get them that free, but he really pounded them.
So in other words, if you don't have Federer's stroke, maybe you shoot the 12
You better have Filler's stroke if it's not Federer. I'll tell you, a few of the women I've been seeing playing too. Some of those got some women that are playing got some power behind their stroke.
I've seen a lot of nice pattern play from some of the women.
Yeah, the tables are playing, which is all about rain and being wet. There's in this particular part of the closed-in room, there's about 70 people, and that does take a lot of the air out. So the tables are not playing as fast as they were yesterday. The air definitely affects the way the table plays.
I don't think he wanted that little nudge. I think he was hoping to pass right by there.
That was the first little skid that I seen when he made contact with the ball.
Was it a skid?
Yeah, it skipped just barely before it started rolling, and then it tapped the 1.
Well, the way he brushed the table, I wonder if he got a little crumb of chalk.
Well, he ain't got no choice but to try an incredible 1-ball shot here. And this is what I mentioned to you earlier, Lou, and I thought one shot can make something or break something, and this is it.
Well, you know, it on the screen, on the monitor, it looks virtually impossible. And I'm trying to peek over here to see what it looks like in real life, and it doesn't look much better in real life, to be honest.
I'm 10% better at best.
You're a generous man, Bobby.
Yeah, this is, I was looking if he got up top. He had a few free balls. He had the 8-12, which is lined up a little bit, but all this stuff is all that's all that'll play a game on here is just make the 1 ball, Lou, and take your chances. The cue ball is going to be going into a couple balls, and you never know what's going to happen with that. But he's got to make this ball. I think he's the favorite, but it's tough.
Ooh.
He just couldn't. The cue ball on the rail, he couldn't put any left on it. That was just straight cut. Well, folks, he did.
He seemed like he hit it a little thick because the 1 ball took off so quickly. I have to wonder if he couldn't have hit it a little bit thinner.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 4. So that's that was an 85-ball run. Imagine running 85 balls and you're winning in the match and have a chance of not getting back to the table.
Yeah, you're not feeling good about it.
No, not at all. Reminds me of a conversation that I talked about yesterday, or day before yesterday. One of my good friends lives in Kentucky, Nick Varner, 8-time world champion. I told him, or asked him one time, I said, if you're in a match to 150 and a guy runs 140 balls on you and misses, how do you feel? And he says, do I have an open shot? I said, yes. He says, I'm stealing. I'm stealing. I'm going to get to 150 before that guy makes 10 more balls because I'm at the table.
Well, as you would expect, most mortals don't share those feelings or that attitude, whatever you want to call it.
They don't share that information either, but
No.
I guess I put Nick on the spot there. Hey, Rich Rensburg, good to hear from you. Old-time buddy, worked with Alan Watto I want to know you've had a few health problems. You're doing better. Hang in there, buddy. Great player, too, Pennsylvania.
You know, that wasn't a particularly difficult shot, but I've seen some incredible shots with the mechanical bridge
Did he make
by
it to
these
the, did he
players.
make it to, yeah, you're right. Did you make it to the 6 here or no?
I think he may be able to. I
This
think
is
he
really
might be able to
close.
slip past the 3.
Well, he's got to get the bridge off the table before he does anything. Unless he's going to go to the
Planning
1.
on
He might need it
going
for the
to
1.
the 1, yeah.
Maybe he didn't get there. So here, if he's going to shoot the 1, is he going to tap into the 3 here? The 3 and 2?
Does not look like it.
6?
Maybe. Just hold for the 6.
Just hold for the 6 and draw back into
Yeah.
those 2 balls. Okay. Folks, I just want to spend a minute here while we have. I know we've been carrying on about other things beside the game, but I want to spend a minute here and give a humongous thank you out to Peter Burrows, the tournament director. He has absolutely saved Straight Pool. He's got the only tournament that is out there that's WPA sanctioned, and it's going through a lot. And he's had ad monies over $60,000 here in money, and without Peter, none of us would be sitting here today. So thank you, Peter. Appreciate that.
Yes, thank you, Peter. I had an opportunity to meet the man for the first time last night, and he is just such a professional, gracious host. And really a pleasure, and super knowledgeable, really cares about the sport. If you have an opportunity to support this event, well, any event, any pool event, but if you love straight pool, this is certainly an event to consider supporting in one way or the other.
Well, Peter loves pool. He has the original Rambo cues that he had built for him in the 50s, still that he plays with. He walks around with a sport jacket and a bow tie every time you see him. That's the old school there.
And another thing I like about Peter is the way he runs this. You know, I think it's well known now that there was a kerfuffle in the tournament room yesterday, and you know, he did not just take it upon himself to make a snap judgment. He did an investigation. He asked the referees. He asked other staff members what his options, what options he should consider, and then after due reflection, made the call. And I like that. I think that's pretty impressive. That he just didn't make a snap judgment or even a judgment entirely on his own.
Well, he disqualified a world champion, actually. I'm not going to get into name calling, but in either case, I think it might be out there, and it's up to y'all to see that. I'm not going to announce it here, but luckily to be there, as there became an open spot to advance to the final 24, was Tyler Styler was in 25th, which had no pay at 25th. Pays the top 24. He fell right into the money and got another chance to continue to play. So that's why it's always important when you're in matches to play them all the way out and score as many points as you can, because that's how come Tyler got to advance. And if you don't think he takes it serious, he's been on the pool table practicing the whole day, whole morning, everything so far since I've seen him here. So he's going to try to take advantage of that opportunity. Okay, we got the 5, trying to fall straight to the 3. He wants to try to place the cue ball. I mean, literally as close to where it's at right now as he can after shooting his 3 ball. I mean, if he shoots the 2, then he's going to have to shoot the 3 and go send the cue ball 2 rails. I like just
This is a natural play here. Just bring
Yeah.
the cue ball back a little bit.
Look at the triangle pattern, folks, how things are in a triangle. Remember when you're practicing straight pull, try to leave the triangle patterns at the end. Look for them. Because it's always easier to maneuver those. Now, he's got to hit a heavy ball here. He drew that back a little bit farther than he wanted to. So he's looking to have this cue ball slightly past the side pocket here. And it's going to be harder. He's going to be a ball or two off of being parallel here for the 14.
Just right.
Yeah. So is that going to be 101 to... What is going to be the updated score here? Because Fedor had a few balls in that rack. Is that right? So we're going to have an update. It's going to be 83, I think. 87, so they went 7 and 7 in that rack. Okay, so okay, it's one of my favorite shots there. I immediately see the 13 that leads to nothing and the 3 that leads to the rack. So I would say
He's got the world's fair here. All kinds of possibilities. He can pick them any which way he wants.
it sucks that his first shot is the best break shot. Then to shoot is the 3 ball. You would want to see if you want to think he would turn around and shoot the 13 because it's a little bit high and then roll down and get to the 7. But to me, he's going to go 13-7 or 13-15, or he's going to go 3-10. What do you think, Luke?
I think he's looking at the 3 ball. I mean, I'm not him, but that seems to me like the natural play gives him the most opportunities to select what his next shot's going to be. And I think, when you're starting out at the beginning of a rack, you want to take that into consideration. You don't want to get tied up on the 2nd or 3rd ball.
That wasn't. I thought he'd really come down and try to pick
So
one of
did
the
I,
stripes
yeah.
off there. He drew back for the 12.
I didn't understand that, but
Well, again, you don't want to go bumping into balls here. So he's got to try to hit this ball and go in front of the 7 or around it, just like that. But did he fall short? Did he fall short for the 15? Or
yeah, but he still got the 10.
If he could shoot the 15, he'd want to shoot the 15. And evidently he doesn't like what he did. Well, there's a guy that plays a lot of straight pool. Steve Kurtz. Welcome, Steve Kurtz. Chris Williams. What you want to do is go on Facebook and search for the Legends of Pocket Billiards. And we will be updating things. It'll be this afternoon, so you can get more of what's going on about the dates we're going to be posting. You'll also be able to go on AZ Billiards. Hold on, let me find some. Let me ask here. Lou, where do you post that on AZ Billiards for the Legends of Pocket Billiards? On what page?
It depends. Now that we've got news, I'll just start a new thread and post a link there.
Would that be in what column?
It's in the main forum.
Main forum, okay. Well, Chris, you want to look in the main forum. I imagine it'd probably be here in a few hours. Lou will probably, I'm thinking he'll probably start to update some stuff there. I don't post there much often anymore, but Lou's very knowledgeable to get around on there. Okay, folks, we're back. Go ahead and share this page with everybody. Support our event. It's on American Straight Pool Championships. You can share that page. Just click the share button. Spend a minute and support Upstate Al. Al and Chris, family venture here, have been working very hard to get this done. Chris did many hours of work today when the power went out and lost the stream in better than half the time. I think he lost about 8 pounds of sweat getting that done.
It's like working in the casino. You get to run around 8 miles a day.
Wait, well, sweating from betting or sweating from walking?
Pressure. So I fixed that volume. If there's anything, I bring it down some for the earbuds.
Yeah, Chris just turned down the volume on the logo.
Other than that, I
So-
can't really go too low because then you guys wouldn't. I don't want you guys to get faded out. You know.
Yeah, and whenever I'm commentating, like even I did last week, I don't want to speak loud too much because the players get in a position to where they might hear what's being said. It will give them a chance at another shot. But I don't think these players need to be listening to me anyway.
Right.
They're very knowledgeable, but
The booth is really, really close to the streaming table, and there's some plexiglass up on 3 sides, and we've got the screen directly in front of us, but you really do have to speak Soto voice.
It's on the bottom, Chris. Okay, guys, Chris is working on the volume. Like I said, he's basically had to rebuild everything all over again because things had all the modems and everything had to turn off. He had to, get a hold of NASA in Houston and get everything fixed back up and all the satellites in order.
I had to use my
Beep,
Pentagon
beep, beep, beep.
connections. It was awful.
Beep, 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 beep.
Green and yellow lights.
Lou called the Secretary of Defense and at the Pentagon and
It was
had to
awful.
get this shit straight.
Guys I haven't talked to in years.
Dave, Chris, Al's son is just as knowledgeable, and he's running everything here, and he's doing a fine job. I've never seen anybody work so fast to get this stream back up for y'all when everything was down, and this is a free stream, and he's worked really hard, so please give a shout out to him. Thanks goes a lot farther than criticism. This is a free stream.
Thanks, Bob. Just trying to satisfy all the viewers. That's all. Dedication.
Well, us pool players are always looking for not be satisfied. But there's so much, I'm so happy right now. It's unbelievable. And this is my home state in Virginia where we're at. And there is so much pool going on in Virginia. Last weekend we had possibly the biggest women's money match ever through Roy's Basement.
Yeah.
Shout out to Roy and shout out to
Roy.
Pia Filler and April
Mrs.
Larson.
Filler.
April Larson for Pia and April. Shout out to both of them. Those girls played terrific, and they were such great sportsmen. Then we follow up the next week. We're here in Virginia Beach, and y'all got a great stream going here at the largest pool room in the United States. 75 tables that are here. This billiard room was owned by the late Barry Berman, who passed away 4 years ago and ran the U.S. Open for 40 plus years. Just fantastic. When this event ends, 10 minutes down the road, another tournament in Virginia. We have the International, which is going to have a one pocket, a 10 ball, and a very really high-end 9-ball tournament. This is the tournament the guys want to win.
Yeah, just a word about Q Masters. This is my first visit, and I was blown away. It's like, holy cow, it's like 3 pool rooms. Your 3 average pool rooms in one room with an incredible tournament venue, built-in bleachers. Wouldn't even call them bleachers, just beautiful wood seating, shelving. You got bar food, you got beverages, you've got a pro shop.
Great shop.
Fully outfitted to do any repair you could imagine.
They build cues here.
So it's just a fantastic locale.
Yeah, well, I was saying about Virginia. So we had the women's money match. We have the American Straight Pool, the best straight pool tournament I would think in the world. It is sanctioned by the WPA. We have another WPA sanctioned event with the International come up with 2 bonus events. The one pocket event, that's a $1,000 entry per player. A 10-ball event on a 10-foot table, another $1,000 entry fee per player. It filled up in about 5 seconds.
Yeah, those sound like
128 player 9-ball tournament for the International 9-ball Open. Then the next week in Virginia, I think it's called the Wolf's Den, down toward I think it's Roanoke area. Shane Wolford, who's an up-and-coming great player. Him and his family own that pool room there, so some of the pros are going to travel for that. Then again in Virginia, starting November 2nd, the Legends of Pocket Billiards is welcoming the Captain America, Shane Van Bonen, to come in and see how many hundreds he can run playing straight pool for the week, or even farther, as long as he wants to stay.
I'm gonna guess he's gonna run easily over 100.
Is that one-handed or left-handed?
I think this is like a really, really even money bet, don't you think?
What do you think he's going to run? What do you think he's going to run?
Boy,
Well, you know, it's
you
really
hate to
hard
say.
tell.
You hate to say. You know.
I
You don't
can't
even
go out
know.
on a limb there. I'm predicting he beats his high run.
Oh,
Okay.
That's my
that's
goal.
too easy.
That's my goal for him is and for all the players to beat their high run.
What is his?
I
high
believe
run?
it's 320.
320.
Yeah. So if he went in there and ran 350, you know, even 321, he
Yeah.
ran 321 and beat his high run. That would be a great week. Not only for him, it'd be a great week for the Legends of Pocket Billiards to know that each player that's the goal. Each player that comes in is to beat their high run, the women and the men. If they go any farther and
to beat their own high run.
yeah, and if they go any farther and then and get into the, you know, the 600-700 range, more to them, and they'll be leaving with pockets full of cash that
I'd like to see that.
that are many inches tall.
I want to be there for that one.
Well, we're going to have it live stream, Chris, and then you know how to
I'll
use a
be there.
computer. So
Oh, yes, sir.
yeah,
I'll be in the crowd.
yeah.
What do you do here, Bobby? Do you spin up a little bit for the 2-ball?
Well, it's kind of a hard angle to kill, but yes, you don't want to go into the balls. I didn't like trying to go around, and that's what he did. So, well, he still has the 2-ball, but if he hits the top side of 12, the 3-ball could end up being insurance. So if he goes into the 12, he's going into the 1, he's going into the 5. These balls that are right here, I'm doing my telestrator. I'm sorry, folks, you can't see that. The 9 has a chance here to push the 7, and has a chance to split the 2 green balls here.
Basically, you're saying he doesn't have to come out with a shot.
No, I think that he could, but the thing is, when the cue ball slides through, if it slides between the 1 and 12, it can end up over here on the rail too. But he shouldn't hit this hard. He just roll through.
Right.
He's going to get about 4 of these balls loose and maybe put a ball in the break. The key thing is make the ball and then get a break ball in position somewhere. So it's going to be the 7, 5, or the 12 that should be in position here. He hit it a little thin, which gave the cue ball extra energy there, and it moved the balls more.
And they opened that right up.
You could be looking at a combo on the side here. Boy, I don't want to shoot combinations at this point.
Well, if it's dead, it's dead, right? It's not like there's a huge gap between them, and if they're lined up nice.
7th.
I wasn't personally very crazy about that.
Does that sound okay? Do you want me to change that?
No, I'm totally good with that. Well, the 14-7 seem to have lined up. So unless he's planning on using the 9 for his break, I mean, he could nail down the 14 where it is. Or draw into it, which is a little dicier. He must be working on the 9 for his break. These guys are just so steady. It's really impressive. Stop. Okay, just about perfect. I think he'll go to the end rail here and bounce up just a bit.
Oh yeah, because what happens if the ball flutters a little bit and ends up
Right,
short?
right.
You should definitely roll this ball into the end rail and bounce out about 3 inches.
There it is. Ray Martin told me that this was one of his favorite break shots, that it had never failed to give him a follow-up shot.
Hold up, guys. I have a Okay, guys, we're back. I'd love that 3-rail shot off the back and get into the center of the table. Wow, I tell you what, this is a difficult
Ooh.
rack.
Not so bueno. Those 4 balls up the table there.
Yeah, you can only make 2. The 7 and the 6. There's nothing down here it goes unless he fell between the 14 and 5 for the 8. Coming to the side rail for the 10. Anything else you see, Lou?
No,
Does the 1 ball pass right now? Is there any chance
I don't
of
think
that?
so. I don't think the 1 passes. Now I don't even think he can make the combo, the 11-10 combo, but he can make the 10. The 10 passes, and the 11 would pass if he got perfect. So he's got his work cut out for him, this rack. In a perfect world, he'd like to get an angle to use the 6 to open up that 2-3, but that's asking for a lot. So now he's got a pretty tough choice. I suppose there's 3-rail position to get on the 10. Side rail, come off the end rail. I suppose he could consider a side pocket bank after the 6. He could also consider attempting to go into the 2 and 3 after going back and forth across the table. And none of these would make my top 10 list. None of those options would make my top 10 list for something I'd want to shoot, particularly in this situation. Oh, he went for the 2-rail position to try to go into the stack. Either that or was it the poorly executed 3-rail position?
Sorry, guys, I got tied up. I'll be right back with you. Lou's doing a good job here.
I got it. Go back to sleep, Bobby. Okay, now, so perhaps the combo on the 3-2. That's no fun at that distance on these tables. I'm not sure that there's anything in the stack for him. So what happens to the 3 ball after, assuming he makes the combo? Theoretically, it goes 1 rail towards the opposite side pocket. And he'd want to play position to gain a shot from there. But the speed on that is very tough to control. Well, I cannot honestly say I saw that coming. And I don't know what he has now other than, I guess if he's feeling really with it, he could shoot the 8-1. The 11-10's not so bad now that I think of it. But that's one of those funny little angles that there's a potential for a skid between the two balls. I don't know if he has a combo to the side pocket. I say the 11-10 might be his best option.
All right, thanks, Lou. Had to go solo there. I'm back.
Okay, well, I'm going to take the rest of the day off.
No need. You're stuck. Okay.
I think he's looking at maybe this 11-10 combo. There is the possibility of a combo
Well,
to the side.
I don't know what else he has. I mean,
He's got the 8-1 combo.
ooh,
Yeah,
wow.
none of them are good.
You have a bigger pocket that way, but who would want to shoot? Why would you want to shoot 2 feet away from a pocket instead of the 7 or 8 feet
Right.
of the table?
Right.
Either way, though, I can tell you the balls are going to be spreading out here.
What has he decided?
I think he's playing this, like you said, at the 11-10 combo. Be careful to follow through in the scratch in the side pocket here. Oh, he hit it side. Look at, meanwhile, the 8 ball.
Meanwhile, the one ball drops like
ball.
it's automatic.
Well, he
He
played.
played
the
that. Holy moly's.
He played.
Who
that.
would have thought?
I think he used that other ball to go into
Yes.
it to thin the angle.
Yes. So he made a tough shot tougher.
That would have been nice to have a replay of that shot.
Well, I think we with the telestrator, we put that on back order. Replay capability and a telestrator.
Chris, this time next year, I think you're going to have a telestrator for us.
You know, can I just shoot the moon and ask for a boom camera? Just
Hold on, I think I got it in my pocket. Hold on, hold on.
looks like he's. I don't know.
I think he should shoot the 5 and turn around the other way instead of the 15. I know. I wouldn't want to shoot any more combos here if he had to. Can he make the 5? I mean,
I think
it
he
looks
can.
like
Yeah,
he
he
can.
can make it, but
He's
I think
looking at the 15. I mean,
the 15's an easier shot. Maybe he's tired of shooting the tough ones.
I think the 5 is the easier shot. He won't be anywhere near any elevation over top of any balls.
Yeah, I know, but not all of us play 75 no count.
I just don't like shooting at side pockets on diamonds.
Right.
You can help it.
Right.
I mean, you got to think what's next here too.
Well, 6, 8. Yeah, I guess a 6 might still go.
Yeah,
Maybe
but I
eight.
mean, who wants to shoot another lengthy shot? I mean, what's he gonna do? He's gonna play the 8 ball up in the corner and then just find an angle to go between the 4 and 14 for the 10 ball next, and then well, if
he's got to
looking,
shoot the 6 next.
I want to let you know also the 12 ball will go past, but he's gonna have to force the ball way over to get to that rail there. I think he's going to sit here and study it for a minute. This is critical.
You think the 12 ball passes? It would have to be hit perfect.
No, I'm looking down the side here. I have an angle around the monitor.
Okay.
It goes clean.
All right. Well, the monitor looks like a tight squeeze. And if you brush too much rail, you've hung it.
He's going to have to kill the ball, or he's going to force it over to get it up and down. All right. So, Lou, it looks like
Nice
he's going
touch.
for the gap for the 10 here then.
That takes a nice touch there. And a degree of confidence.
And the question I have is, and they got 2 stripes in the center here at 11 and 13. Does that 11 ball pass into, from his angle, the lower right corner?
Okay, you've lost me. The 11 ball.
It's right next to the 13.
Is that the 11?
Yeah, it looks like the 15.
Looks like the 15 to me.
Well, you don't have to worry about that now because them balls are getting separated.
Right.
Okay, guys, 379 people on the live stream. Share the page. All you have to do is click the button. Click the share button. Let's get this over to 500 as quick as we can.
What is the outcome here? He goes into this ball. He bumps
Well,
the two striped balls.
well,
What is the outcome?
Well, the outcome is, first of all, he can get an angle as an emergency to the 2-ball table. But the outcome here, if he bumps these balls, the 11's going to hit off the 13. That ball's floating to the back rail.
Does the 15 become a break ball behind the stack?
He's still up in the air about that, but this ball goes to the back rail.
Just
Becomes
like
a break ball.
Yeah.
Now, you know the ball that needs to leave this rack?
The 14.
If he's going to leave the 11, the 4-ball has to leave.
The 4-ball.
Yes, because the 4-ball is blocking the 14 too. And I'm not sure from the angle that the 6 passes the 14. But then if you're looking at it too, if he could get in here and then come over here.
Nice telestrator work.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm talking about the 2-10 and the 14-6. He has to make a decision right now on what he's going to leave at the end of the rack.
You seem very comfortable leaving your key ball at some distance from these behind the rack break
Well,
balls.
there's a lot they can roll down. There's a lot that he can end up rolling down over here.
I like my
at the
key ball
bottom.
for these shots to be pretty close.
Well, I don't like back rail break shots.
Well, given, but
I mean, he's going to shoot this 13, and I think he's going to twist the ball around the table here and get an angle to another ball if he's going to shoot that. I mean, he's thinking because the 4-ball looks a little low.
right.
So he's considering, do I save this or do I get rid of it? You're going to find out here if he's going to twist this ball 2 rails around and get on the other side of the table, or he's going and get to a shot, or what he's going to do. But I really think the 4-ball needed to leave, and that's where he's at now. I like this here if he can. I don't know if he can manage those. The problem. I like this here to get an angle of that he can shoot the 4. And get between the 2 and the 12 somehow, even if you do have to tap a ball. And it looks like he's going to go back across a couple rails here. Well,
I don't know about that.
I don't know either. I mean, that's no man's land here.
I think I would have tried to position myself someplace closer to those balls, just having coming off one rail.
Well, he's looking at leaving the 14 ball for a shot now.
Oh, well, then,
See, I
this makes
like
sense,
shooting
yeah.
the 13 and going out around and leaving the 11. Now he's got to go up and down the table and get to the 10.
Or the 6.
He's got a little bit of angle here.
It's okay.
Well,
It's not perfect, but it's okay.
well, now he's gonna have to go from the 12. He's gonna have to stiff this ball to get to the 6. Lean over a little bit to the 2. Bounce out to the 14, and that ball's not a ball high. That ball's 3 balls high from the rack.
You know, he put his finger down on the cloth as if he was going to try to kill the cue ball right on the
Yeah.
rail.
Well, he's got to try to.
Why wouldn't he bring it back to the center of the table?
Well, I don't think that the 6 passes.
No,
He's looking at trying to play
that
the
ball's
6.
got to pass.
He's looking at trying to play the 6 ball on the side. Maybe if it passes, he's good. Yeah, see, it didn't pass.
That's a delicate shot.
Well, now what do you do? Because you don't want to be shooting a 2 ball from the bottom rail. He's got to shoot this and miss the 14, and not leave himself long shot on the 2, because he'd have to make the 2 and hit it clean to the pocket, because he's going to have to hit it with some force to bounce out to get to the 14 to be parallel to it. So here, where's my invisible telestrator?
I can
with
see
the
it
cue
clearly.
ball in
Yes,
here,
okay.
but
You're good.
that pocket's tough, so he's going to have to bounce out and get to the 14. This 6 ball must go. I just didn't know if it went. Wow, and that, he hit that ball so thick.
That's nice. I think he's got it from here. I think you just barely bring the cue ball
This-
back a little.
I guess the 6 went. I just didn't know that it went past it.
Just so.
Well, this is a tricky. This angle here is tricky. When you,
Yes.
when you see the balls are racked up, you're going to see that the top of the rack. What's going to be happening?
We're getting into the touchy part of the match.
Well, I think it was when it
You
was
can
the
see the
first.
finish
The
line.
first shot was touchy, but right now you're sniffing the finish line.
Right? You can see it.
I'm going to tell you from this point, if any player misses from here, I don't think there'd be a second turn to the table. Now this angle's kind of tricky. You have to watch scratching in the side pocket. Because it looks like he's going to be going on the top of the rack. Does it look like a top rack shot, or is he
Yes.
going to hit the side of the two?
No, I think he's going to hit the 2 ball.
He might be able to hit the side of the two instead of the top of it. And if he does, that's what he'd want to do. He did.
Oh,
hit
he
the
missed
top.
it. No, he missed the 2.
No, he hit the 2. It just it stayed still.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it just stayed. The 2 stayed
Can I
still.
have a replay, please?
That's coming with the telestrator.
And the boom camera. Well, this
And the
isn't so
jib.
bad. This is not so bad. This is not so bad. I mean, he rolls straight forward, nudges the 4 out of the way.
Just
and then he's got-
just don't push the 4 into the 8.
right. Or on top of that striped ball, the 6, 15.
Now they are. I want to make sure I mention something. They are playing all ball fouls.
Yes.
The 7 ball or the 3 ball is completely frozen to the cue ball.
I think this 4 ball could come out very favorably for him.
He's going to take a wide shot on the 8.
Ooh.
I wasn't expecting he would do that.
Not thinking that.
You know, he had to reach for that shot. He used an extension, so he had to use a longer stroke. Well, it's kind of obvious here.
You want to take that 10 ball off, right?
Oh, I would want to take the 10 ball. He's looking at taking the 8.
I don't understand that. I mean, you
You
got
would-
3 balls on the rail there. Let's get rid of at least one of them.
You would have to break my knuckles for me to not shoot this 10 ball right now. Because you bounce up, you get straight on the 8. Then you can clear the 5, and,
Right.
and then leave 1 ball on the back rail. Then you can work up table a little
Right.
bit. Because we'd want to leave, the advanced thinking here is you want to clear out the 10, 8, and 5, leave the 4. Because at the end of the rack, because he has a 2 ball and 15 ball that are in the break area, you can always use that 4 ball to go 2 rails as your key ball to lead
Right.
to those break balls.
There's a lot of different
Because-
ways to go. You can go 1 rail, 2 rails, float it, draw it.
Well, he doesn't have any clusters, really. I mean, if he can get an angle to the 2 or the 6 here and get rid of those balls, you should leave the 4 ball as your key ball here as an emergency if you don't have a ball that's right next to it. I don't like this unless he's getting to the 9 next. Well, that's not so bad, I guess, because those are the only 2 balls that are tied up.
I think it would have been easier to get rid of the
Well,
10
well,
first.
Yeah, but eventually, is the 2 ball going to go on the side? Is it going to? He's going to go from the 2 to 11. I mean, at one point, but right now he's got 2, 5, 7. He's got 7 balls that he's going to shoot before he touches the 2, 3, 15, 11, and 9. Did y'all get all that?
I took notes. Oh, boy. He's okay, but that didn't have to turn out right.
Well, he's got me sweating here.
I think he goes into the 9 here. Nope.
I don't think he should touch into another ball myself, but anything is possible.
He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to at this point.
Well,
Everything's
you know,
spread.
when he got to the 3 just now, he didn't want to roll that far because he wanted to take out the 1 and 7. without going back up table. Now, folks, remember, he's got these balls on one half of the table. He should never shoot a shot ever over 4 feet for the rest of his rack, and he should never bump another ball neither.
You shouldn't have to send the cue ball very far either. You should be able to manage it with just moving the cue ball a couple of feet or less.
So he's going to go 3-6 here? Or is he going to the 5? Okay.
So now he can bump the 2 out. Get rid of that problem.
Well, if he, good shot here. Actually, we bump the 2 just a little bit. You kind of
or play the 2 now. Do you like playing the 2 now?
No. I think he's going to go 6-2-9 and come up from there. But really, I like conserving the 2 ball here. I think he should shoot the 6 ball.
Nah, I'm getting rid of it.
Okay. Now, here's the decision you make. Most people looking, that 9 straight in. Let me just go ahead and get that out of the way. And that could be fatal. But here, do you shoot the 5 and go to the 2 and slide over for the 1 and 7? Or do you shoot the 5 and go 2 rails and get to the 1? And, he's fell at a funny angle.
Yeah,
now he may be forced to shoot the 7 up table.
He is. And so 7-1.
7-1, 2, 11, 9, bump out 1 rail for the 15 break shot.
Once again, that 2 ball is sitting there right now. I could take it. I'm not leaving that 2 ball.
Yeah, I didn't like this shot from the beginning, but anyway, so we're looking, folks, at the 7 ball, the 1 ball, get straight to the 2, to get straight on the 11, to get an angle to the 9 and shoot, and then make the 9 and bump out right 1 rail right at the second diamond beside the 15. Get straight to the 15 within reason. You got a break ball. I mean, you got your next rack. Where are you from, Lou? I mean, I'm from Virginia. We know this shit.
We only play 1 pocket in St. Louis. We have to know. We don't speak at the 14.1.
Well, we know you're a straight pool whiz, and definitely proved you're a 1 pocket whiz.
I've come to perhaps not love 1 pocket, but I greatly enjoy it now.
If we ever played 1 pocket, I hope that we bet a lot. And if we do, you're going to get one of the bottom corners. I'm going to get a corner and a side pocket. We're going to have a little advantage here.
Right. Well, you have a rich fantasy life, is all I can say.
Hey, you got to book a winner, All right, well.
Ooh, that's that. I think he hit it a little too heavy, but it was a good idea.
I did not like that pattern that he finished this rack out with because
he left the 2 ball too long. Nobody believes me. And he left the 2 ball too long.
Well, if he shot the 2 now, then he's going to have to shoot this and bump out. This is what I liked before when the 15 was lower. He had an angle where he could have shot the 2 in the side straight, shoot the 11, stop dead again, shoot the 9, go 1 rail to the 15. Now he's going to still have the same angle where he's shooting the 9 and bump it out to the 15, except he moved the 15 4 inches farther up past the spot.
Well, I'll tell you what, the way those last 3 balls were, I think I would have rather have left the 2 for a side pocket break. If it wasn't going to interfere with racking.
Now, there's one thing you should always know, folks. I mean, I know Lou knows this. Is you want to make sure you know how many balls that you need. Now, realize he needs 23, okay? So that means he needs to clear this rack. And the next rack, he doesn't need that many. He needs 3/4 of the rack. He needs about 9 balls, a little more than half of the rack. So he won't need to play a break ball next rack if he can get through this rack. So position is meaningless. He just has to clear balls out.
So he can fire at any potential break balls next rack with Gabe Bannon.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter. Key balls, anything.
That's right.
He's going to have 15 targets the next rack.
Okay.
Follow or draw, Bobby.
Let's see here. Oh no. I mean, you don't want to get. This is one you can get stuck. He's directly parallel. Okay. So he's going to have to hit something with a downstroke. He may not even smash draw, but he's going to hit down. He don't want to scratch in the bottom corner, so he's got to hit down. Well, he passed the test.
Bobby, you've seen a lot more straight pool here recently than I have. Do you see very often when guys get straight in, them doing the old school jump the cue ball up in the air and parachute into the middle of the stack?
There's only one person that I've seen this happen to in a tournament, and I called it before the match started, was Corey, and Corey did it twice in one match. But, you know, I told people if I had to pick the best shot maker that was here, Corey, well, for American for sure, but it was Corey. He's just so creative. Martin, I believe the high run is 500 a session. I don't know. I donated to it, and I don't even know what the amount is. But my guess is 500 a session. I mean, a day, I mean. You can times that by at least, 100 or so with the Legends of Pocket Billiards coming up. That little Kenny that says is watching, if it is, nice guy, big Q collector. What do you think the average age is of the people that are in the stands behind us?
Everybody's got this.
Sorry, guys.
We're having a good time here.
Sometimes we have to, a little joke here or there. We don't want to be on the air. It's
Just
all
need to
clean
laugh
fun.
really hard sometimes.
It's a good time.
Do we have a schedule for the next match?
I don't have that on hand, Bobby. I'm gonna have to get that when this match finishes.
So we don't have a schedule for table 30 yet.
I thought they were gonna actually put Shane Van Boning on 31.
Well, Shane is out now. Shane got eliminated.
Was he?
Yeah, Shane got eliminated. Oliver, who's playing Fedor now, ran a little over 100 and knocked him out.
I thought they were gonna play on table 31, but they didn't put that up. That was the other live stream table.
That's a little. He's okay.
He's okay.
A little short though.
I'm sure he would have liked to have taken the 3 ball off.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I thought because I was looking at it, and I think he's going to get a 3. So the two issues right now is a 3 and the 8. So he should shoot this 13. Try to see if he can hold the cue ball and come back toward the rail a little bit and shoot the 3 ball next. Okay, so that's going to take care of that.
That'll work.
Now, the one thing you don't want to do, you don't want to disturb the 7 ball. So stay away from that ball. I hate seeing that. Lou, how's he going to clear this 8 ball out?
Well, I think he's going to clear the 4 and 1 and then go to the 8-11. One of those 2 balls has got to
I
pass.
don't think he's got to shoot this 5 now.
Well, right. Shoot the 5, and then the 4-1, 8-11.
Well, how about shooting the 5 and going 4-8? And just killing this ball here. Or just hit it very hard.
Hit it super hard and
You don't
jack
wanna get-
yourself up on the 11. No, it's all right.
Well, you know, he's been in a position now where, what do? Did you shoot the 4 and try to draw out above the 7 to the side rail and get straight to the 1?
You could mess up
You
the
don't-
4 ball and get it on the 7.
Well, you don't want to touch the 7. That's
Right.
you know,
So, he can roll forward and leave himself the 4 on the side, I suppose.
I think he should draw this ball out of there.
Oh, that's a nice touch.
Well, you know what? I even like the 4 better than I do the 7 now.
Yep.
I changed balls in
Yep.
mid game here.
Yep. Well, he hit that so nicely. It was almost like he knew what he was doing.
Well, if he does that, then if he's going to do it, he's going to have to remove this 11 ball sooner than the 7.
Yep. He's taking care of business. He sees the finish line. He smells the finish line now. Just so.
Well, does he smell it? Does he smell the finish line?
Yeah, absolutely. Now the question is, he almost wants to favor playing this as conservatively as possible. You don't want to put a...
He's got the smash angle. Though.
He's got the
He
smash
can't
angle,
He
but
can't get out of it.
he can go up table or leave himself on the end rail or scratch.
I would hit this with a half stroke. He's going to hit it 3/4. He's going to hit this ball at 75%. I mean,
Well, he's definitely got a whack
I would
at
not hit this, but this angle it's deserving of hitting the ball real hard.
Ooh, nice stroke. And he's
I
not
don't
really
think I don't think I break 9 ball that hard. Now if the 10 goes by is the question.
It doesn't go by.
It doesn't go by.
It does not go by. So he's got a combo or a rail first shot.
Or he even pinched the 9 in the corner or back cut it in the side.
You know, I wouldn't surprise me if he went for the 9.
Do you like the corner or the side here?
If I shot as straight as him, I'd just shoot it straight ahead.
Yeah, I would not go rail first on the 14 for sure, but if the 10 ball goes, then how do you say that the fat lady does what?
It's warming up.
I believe he eats.
Oh, good answer, Chris. Oh my goodness. We know you're from New York now.
One and only. But I do love Virginia.
I think this
And
14
Volvos.
I think this 14 is too far away from the pocket to comfortably play rail first. So, well, he's going for a combo. Touch
think-
eight doesn't
I think
have
it
to
goes
go.
clean.
Doesn't have to go.
Okay, it doesn't. Okay. Well, that could be the game-winning shot.
I think
Let's see
so.
what happens. If you count the balls, he needed 9 going in. He's got 4, 5, 6, 7. He's got 9 that are free. 10 that are free. No, it's 4, 5, 6, 7. He's got 9 that are free. The 5, 11, 3, and 1 should never get touched here.
Well, he needs 7 now? Yeah, he's made 2. He made the break and the combo.
Okay, so he needs 7.
6.
He plays center table a lot, and I don't blame him here. So you think 6, stop, 11, do something. He can shoot the 9. I would leave the 9 till the end. There's no need in that unless he's going to shoot 9, draw back 12, 8 in the side. Or maybe they need to draw. And it's possible the 3-ball goes in, so he might go to 12-3 here too. Let's see what happens here. All right. You would have.
He's hitting them pretty firm for the finish line.
You would have had to break my knuckles to go up table there.
Yeah, I'm not even thinking about that. That half of the table doesn't even exist for me anymore at this stage of the game.
So he needs to leave 6 balls on the table. Pocket everything but 6 balls, and he's a winner. So he's playing for 4. Fell short. He fell short there. He wanted to get straight to the 2. Or close to straight. He's playing for 3, I believe. Is that right, Lou?
3, 6, 9. He's got 6. He needs 3.
That's what I liked. Okay. 6, 11. And what did that fat lady do beside eat, Chris? She sings.
She's singing.
Sings,
She's on
rolls
stage.
over.
She's on stage.
No, he didn't have a big run, so he won't be continuing.
Nice. Nice. Good job, fellas.